but I like to play devil's advocate. I personally feel the newspaper is not the right medium to communicate these ideas of food safety. Because, let's face it, everybody knows about the 2 children who died because of food poisoning. But about what you said about the exercise and the food loss, I mean the weight loss column that comes every week. I mean, who remembers the exercise or recommendation 2 weeks ago? Unless you actually cut it and kept it, which I do. But people read the newspaper for sensations. Sensational sells, news sells. But if you actually try to focus and try to communicate ideas about food safety through the newspapers, I am a bit, I'm not in agreement with that. Probably a Friday magazine where you publish excellent articles about recipes. Probably alongside that, because it's in the food section, it's the mood. You cannot take a newspaper and say, listen, I'm going to read about food safety. It has to be done in leisure. That those ideas have to sink in if you want to have a long-term impact. Otherwise, you're just going to read it, and yes, you feel nice about it, and then you forget about it.
If I may just try to answer that a little bit, because I feel that anything like this, which is about education, is something which you slowly build into the mind of a person, and it might just create a minor dent, even if it's weight loss, a minor dent, people may not remember, but slowly the swell builds up, and slowly it just does educate you at the end. And if you see what kind of diabetes awareness did we have in UAE 10 years ago, and the kind of public support we have now, and the kind of campaigns that have been happening now. So it's the same thing. I think it's like dimming the message slowly but surely. Of course, Friday magazine can do a better job, but I think the newspaper also has a very big role to play here. Even if it's a small little thing which you may cut and keep, or you may just read and throw away, but it just does make an impact on your mind.
But what I'm trying to say is the newspaper is going to be limited in its comments and criticism because you have advertisers who take in your ads for this. And let's face it, that brings in revenue for the company. And you're not going to say something critical, too much critical about people who's going to, that's reality. I know how newspapers work. You're not going to say something critical who puts probably 4 pages of ads per week in your newspaper.
It applies to Friday magazine.
No, Friday, what I'm trying to say is you can be very generic, you can be general, because in that magazine you're not actually talking about X supermarket had fish which went bad. You can't actually say that. Or don't go to the supermarket and buy bread because they sell safe bread. You just can't make those statements, and that's what newspapers are for. To make those statements, you can't do that. I mean, food safety awareness is about, listen, these guys are selling safe food. And once you say that, that supermarket is never going to keep safe food. But nobody will have the guts to say that.
What I meant was news-based features, which are on a daily basis, because newspaper have that power on a daily basis. Whereas a magazine would probably put one feature on food safety and then would not put it for maybe 2 months, because we have also our advertisers to answer you. So we can't use the same topic or the same theme. So in a magazine, in a newspaper, you can have a concerted campaign which runs for the whole year, like for instance the weight thing, which I just gave an example of. And it can be on a daily basis or on a maybe once in 2 days basis or whatever. And it makes an impact as a feature, not like a hardcore news I'm talking about.
See, now, there is a basic difference between your weight loss issue and the food safety issue. We talked about your breast awareness campaign, which is an excellent campaign because it's something which has affected everybody. Everybody or somebody has been affected by cancer, or somebody relative or a friend. So that's a universal thing which everybody knows, yes. Weight loss, everybody suffers from obesity. But food safety, you feel, let's go to a supermarket which is brighter, better. It's not something which is close to people's heart, and because we are from the industry, we know what's going on. But the average person, it's going to be a tough task. I don't have the answers. What I'm saying is, it's a very difficult campaign to run on a concerted basis unless you actually keep on telling people this is good and this is bad. I don't have the answer, sorry, but I feel that this is a very complicated situation to be handled by a newspaper.
Now I want to react to that.
Just
adding to the previous comments that it has to be a joint effort. No one newspaper can do as much unless it is also done maybe on the radio or on billboards on the road or in schools and as well as in supermarkets. So in that way you're kind of reaching as many people as you can. So if it's a joint effort, yes, then it can make a difference.
And just to add a few words to that, some of the observations you made. One, you spoke that newspapers tend to keep away from stories when they feel that it's going to affect their advertising revenue. No, that's not necessarily true. I mean,
I was speaking in general.
No, that's fine. I mean, I respect your comment because newspapers do exercise the privilege of being a voice of society, and in different ways. I think it was 2 weeks ago when there was a report in Gulf News. I think it even made the front page about a restaurant in Abu Dhabi which was closed down on food safety concerns. I can't take the name, but it did make the front page, and people were aware of it. That particular restaurant, I do believe, is a potential advertiser, even if it's not at this point in time. So we do have that responsibility as journalists. And also to add one more point, there is a theory in mass communications. It's called accumulation theory, and it's basically, in layman's terms, it's drip feeding. You don't, you build an opinion about a particular issue over a period of time. Sometimes it could be 2 months, sometimes 2 years, a decade even, but it's a slow, gradual process, and you institutionalize a particular issue and even give it its own identity. I'm not trying to promote climate control beliefs here, but the fact that what you see here, I care about food safety. The very fact that whenever we have this particular graphic, this element as part of our magazine pages, now that's immediately going to be a recall value, and you're going to say, aha, there's one more story on food safety, and you probably will read it. It's a connection to what you read a month earlier or 2 months earlier. So there is a link, and there are various ways and means of building on an issue. And but I do agree there's an opportunity for the media to get together, the print, the broadcast media, and social media to promote this. And I think we'll work on it as journalists. We are a very small representation of journalists here, but we make a beginning today, and we do something about it. I think it's time to close this particular panel discussion, and I'd like to thank Nawaz Sharif of Vlog Middle East magazine and Suchitra Chaudhary of Gulf News of Friday magazine, and I think they deserve a round of applause. I'm going to call my colleague Stephanie McGuinness to have a few words on the food safety campaign, and after that, Mr. Abuza is going to be continuing the sessions, and these 2 sessions are very interesting. He's going to be addressing refrigerated transportation. And, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Surendra. What I wanted to actually address to all of you was, first of all, thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me and to my team here at CPI Industry. We have, in a very short period of time, been trying to build up this campaign that involved all of you. This whole concept of food safety means a lot to all of us, to Fred, to Surendra, to Deep, to myself, and obviously to all of you because you all became present. One thing I'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, because from the moment that we contacted them, they were very enthusiastic about being part of this campaign. And I feel a lot of gratitude towards them because they actually care about us being able to raise this awareness, which isn't easy. It's not easy to gather so many people from this food chain, from the very type of people that transport our food, to be able to get everyone together and to actually talk about these issues. because we all relate to it in a different way commercially, but at the end of the day, we are all end consumers, and this affects us and our families and so forth. So I want to thank you all very much for being here. I do want to thank all of our sponsors, that includes Danforth, Emerson, Transicode Carrier, and of course ITT Innovations as well. So thank you very much for supporting us, and thank you all of you guys for helping us start something really exciting for the rest of the food chains to come.
Okay, I hope you still have some energy, same I hope for myself, to listen to the last part of our summit. We will be talking about the food transport, and I would like, without going to the presentation itself, just to give you the picture, then we can go through anything required from that side. The transport can be divided into three things. We have air transport, we have land transport, and we have marine transport. This is when we transport the food. The other thing is, we would like on every one of them, whether it is air, land, or marine, we'd like to tackle a few subjects like the product which we are going to transport. What are the challenges that are going to face us, and how we can overcome those in regards to the product itself, in order for it to reach the end point as fresh and tender as it was at the point of embarkation, or when you call it embarkation, the place of travel, the start. The second thing is, after the product, then we need to talk about the equipment by which we are going to transport our material. We have to have some kind of international standards in order for that particular piece of machinery or a container, when it leaves one country to another, or a truck, it will be easily moved from one place to another and handled in every country the same way it was in the other country, otherwise we will have a mess. So there must be a standardization. The third thing is the equipment which is going to be transporting the food, it will go through different environments. What are the challenges which will face us during every one of those, whether it is land, air, or marine, during the trip, and what we can do for it. So mainly these three subjects. The last thing is again the management of the whole thing together. So if we talk about air transport at the beginning, number one, for the products, it is much better that you pre-cool the product before you ship it to the airport, to make sure that at least in case any unexpected circumstances happen, that your product still can survive for some time before it starts deteriorating. So you give it some proper cooling, or what we said at the yesterday, pre-cooling, saturated, so it doesn't lose any weight, and at the same time drop its temperature, so it has some time before it starts deteriorating or losing quality in case you face a problem with your refrigeration equipment. That is in regards to the product at the very beginning. We take air transport, which means airplanes. Now, the airplane, when it travels, it goes through three different environments. Two of them are almost similar, but I would like to separate them. And the one in the middle. You have the takeoff, you have the cruising, and you have the landing. It could be taking off from a country like, let us say, it's coming from the USA to Saudi Arabia. Oh, sorry, to Dubai. I'm still in Saudi Arabia anyway. So if the plane is leaving New York or Dubai, then, and we will assume that we are either in the winter time or summer time in America, it's still the weather is quite good. So